I saw somebody ask on Reddit this question. Why is there so much stigma around leaving the nursing profession? And when I was reading the comments, it was so interesting. It was all types of comments on this thread. Okay. So somebody, one of the key comments that I'm gonna read, well, I'm not gonna read it word for word, but somebody said that nurses who want to leave are young, or the nurses who want to leave that are young and don't have enough life experience are basically just quitting just because they want to quit. And that nursing is a stable and a good job, no matter what if you want to stay or not, right? And what I thought when I read this comment is, so you basically have to suffer more in order to be allowed to leave the profession. Since when do you have to suffer to leave? And according to some of the comments, if you are suffering, so what? Suck it up. Keep going. You signed up to be a nurse. Me personally, if you don't know me, actually, my name is Mel. I left nursing 5 years ago. When I left, I was 28 years old. Okay. So for the people who say that, if you leave when you're young and you don't have enough experience, so how could you possibly leave? You don't have enough life experience. I feel like as a nurse, when you become a nurse, when you're in nursing school, when you're actually practicing as a nurse, you get so much experience. You get to learn so much about yourself. You get to learn so much about your patients. You get to learn about the nursing culture, the work culture, and how to work with team members. Like you learn so much, and in that process, you learn a lot about yourself too. Nursing is a profession that forces you to get experience, life experience. So, how can you not have enough life experience if you've gone through nursing school, you've worked with patients, you've done all the things, and you've got the experience, and you've gotten enough experience to know that this is something that you no longer want to do. You no longer want to have to go through the type of pressures that come with nursing. You no longer want to have to go through the exhaustion and the dread and all of the things that can come with the nursing role, especially in the bedside. For me, and like most nurses, when you start out, you start off at the bedside because a lot of nurses don't want to lose their skills. They want to make sure they're sharp and they remember things and they get their experience and all of that. But what happens is when you go into those roles, with me, I got burned out. I was in ICU, I was in med surge, I was in a long-term acute care facility. Like I did a lot of bedside work. And it got so bad. It got to the point where I wasn't eating until like 7 o'clock at night, or sometimes I didn't eat at all. Holding like not getting bathroom breaks, things like that, because you have patients who are literally dependent on you and their lives depend on how you show up. And you have to prioritize and all of those things, right? So why do you feel like it's just I know it's a cultural thing and it's a societal thing, but so many nurses feel guilt and they feel shame for wanting to walk away from the profession, or they feel like they have to hide the fact that they want to walk away from the profession. And they feel like they need a valid enough reason to walk away from nursing when all the reason that you need is that you just don't want to do this anymore. And that's valid enough. So many people internalize the the guilt and they internalize it as failure when they wanna walk away from nursing, and they feel like the people around them will internalize will see it as failure or won't be able to understand their decision, but those people don't clock in for your shifts. They're not clocking in, they're not taking on your patient load, they're not responsible for all the things that you're responsible for as a nurse. So, at the end of the day, even though we care about people's opinions, even though you care about some people's opinions and what they might think, but at the end of the day, it's your life, and you can't allow these people to dictate what you do or to determine if you whether you stay or leave nursing. So I'm so passionate about this. I got so hyped when I saw this, I just wanted to jump on here because if you feel like you need a valid reason to leave nursing, like valid to who? Who determines the validity of the situation? But you. Who? And it's just mind-boggling to me that nursing is treated like a profession that you have to stay in no matter how you feel, no matter how unhappy you are in it, no matter how much you dread clocking in, no matter how exhausting and tiring these shifts are to your mental and your physical and your emotional health. People like, "Oh, so what? Suck it up. Thank you for your service." Whew, I just got hyped because this is clearly a topic that needs to be discussed, and a lot of people have input on this topic. So let me know what you feel. Let me know if you're a nurse who wants to walk away from nursing, but you feel some shame around leaving. You feel like there's some stigma that comes with it. You feel like people might not understand why you want to walk away. There's so many things that come up: the guilt, the shame, the fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty. But the culture is making you feel even worse for not wanting to do something that you no longer feel aligned with. And I don't think that that's okay. But the beauty is that even in this instance, in this journey, once you learn to just like cancel out the noise and be at peace with your decision and be happy about your decision and really step into the next version of yourself that's not always burned out or exhausted if you are a nurse who's dealing with burnout and stuff. Once you get on the other side of that, you become a completely different version of yourself who doesn't feel the need to have to explain herself, who can openly talk about her journey and shed light on the situation and help other nurses in the process who are feeling ashamed or feeling like they have to hide the fact that they want to leave, who are suffering in silence and not really wanting to do this anymore, but they're continuing to stay. And that's a huge reason why I do what I do, because I've been in that exact position. Even though I knew I didn't want to stay in nursing long term, I still felt guilt and shame and fear and misunderstood and all of those things in my journey. And I felt very alone through that process, but I was able to come out of that process. I was able to feel all those emotions, let them come to the surface. And that's where my confidence comes from in my decision. That's why I don't regret my decision. But a lot of nurses don't feel the emotions that need to be felt that comes with this stigma when you leave nursing, and they end up just shaming themselves and allowing society and other people, other nurses, other family members, and just allowing people to shame them or make them feel bad for wanting to walk away. Not on my watch. I can't I can't. I'm gonna scream it to the top of the world, to the top of my lungs, that it's okay to no longer do something that you don't want to do. It's okay to outgrow a profession and walk away from that profession because you're not happy there. You get one life. You don't want to spend most of your days feeling dread and exhaustion and unfulfilled. And a lot of people live that life. Like a lot of people are currently in that and they stay in that for a lifetime until they retire. And then that's when they finally start to live. But that's, ooh, I wish people knew that that is not the only way. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I can go on a whole tangent and talk about why that shouldn't be the case. But the stigma, the shame, the guilt is real. And if you are feeling those things, if you are feeling like you have to pretend that you're fine, you have to fake your smiles at work, you're feeling some guilt for thinking about doing something else outside of the nursing profession, for leaving nursing, for wanting to do something else, I just want you to know that you're not alone and you are exactly who I'm here to help. Because, like I've said, I've been in that space, I've been in that position, and it was lonely. So that's why I speak about this. And that's why I created a community for nurses who are going through the exact same thing so you don't feel so alone and misunderstood. Because it does get lonely because of society and the stigma that exists when you want to walk away from nursing. But I just want to talk about one more comment that was said was okay. So one more comment that was said was that people in other professions are allowed to quit their careers like in tech or whatever it is, they're celebrated for it. But when it comes to nursing, it's like, nope, did you try this? Well, maybe you just didn't try your thing. Did you try this specialty or you should try this? Or it's like they try to map out a plan for you or try to get you to stay, even though you already know that you want to leave. And I still like people still, even 5 years later, people still ask me, why I decided to leave, if I would go back, did I try this, but at first I used to feed into it before when I was, scared to own my decision, but now you say your piece, it just wasn't like it wasn't in alignment with how I wanted to live, or you could just say because I wanted to. I wanted to leave. I had to do what was best for my mental and my physical health. But you don't have to explain because once you start explaining why and you go into like all of these, oh, did you try this or would you try it? It's like you already know deep down that you no longer want to do this. So you don't have to allow other people's opinions or suggestions or recommendations make you doubt yourself or doubt your decision to leave nursing or prolong the inevitable, which is the fact that you want to walk away. You just ain't got to do it. You ain't got to do it. So, that's my 2 cents. Let me know how you feel in the comments because clearly this is a conversation that needs to be had. And if you are a nurse who's thinking about leaving nursing, you constantly thinking about leaving nursing, but you feel guilty, you feel like you didn't spend enough time there, you feel fear, you feel shame, you feel all of these emotions around your decision, I invite you into my Confidence to Quit Nursing signature program. I created a program specifically for this reason because of all of these emotions that come up with wanting to walk away from nursing. I've been through them, I've healed through them, and now I'm in a position to help you do the same. So if that's something that you feel like you need and you want to become the woman who does not care about what people say, who is confident enough in her decision and herself to own her decision to walk away from nursing, and you want to step into your new identity and you really, really want to allow yourself to be happy outside of nursing, outside of your nurse identity, then this is the space for you. The Confidence to Quit Nursing signature program is the space for you. Okay? So, that is all I have. I got to go, but I love you and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Remember, before I go, you don't need a valid reason to want to walk away from nursing. Wanting to walk away is enough in itself. So go be great. Go live your life. You got this.